Hello. Welcome to our kindergarten kickoff event. My name is Tim Beekman, and I'm the principal of Eden Lake Elementary, and I'm so glad that you have decided to join us this evening to learn more about Eden Lake Elementary, as well as the Eden Prairie school system overall. At Eden Lake, we are going to be welcoming your child in the fall of 2021, which makes them the children who will be graduating the class of 2034. It is really hard to imagine that far out, but it'll be here before we know it. This year, we have 4 kindergarten classroom teachers, Mrs. Morris, Mrs. Gilligan, Mrs. Perrine, and Mrs. Meyer. And Mrs. Meyer is now going to read a short picture book to all of you, so please sit back and enjoy the story from Mrs. Meyer.
Hi, incoming kindergartners. My name is Mrs. Meyer, and I am a kindergarten teacher here at Eden Lake. I'm so excited to get to meet all of you next year. Today, I'm going to read a story to you called The King of Kindergarten, and this is about a little boy's first day at kindergarten. And so you're going to be able to see what it's like in kindergarten next year. There's a lot of similarities between this book and what your day at Eden Lake will look like. The morning sun blares through your window like a million brass trumpets. It sits and shines behind your head like a crown. Mommy says that today you are going to be the king of kindergarten. You'll use a golden brush to clean your royal teeth. You'll wash your own face with a cloth bearing the family crest. You'll dress yourself neatly in hand-picked garments from the far-off villages of Osh and Kosh. But gosh, you'll be ready to reign. My baby is heading to school, Mommy will say during breakfast. But you're not a baby. Could a baby wolf down a tower of pancakes the way you can? I don't think so. You're growing up so fast, Daddy will say, and he'll be right. I can't stay the same size forever, can I? You'll say. One day I'll be taller than you, Daddy, and you'll be my little man. Daddy will laugh, but you won't be joking. Then a big yellow carriage will deliver you to a grand fortress. As you walk up to the towering doors, you'll remember Mommy saying, "Hold your head high and greet everyone with a brilliant, beaming, majestic smile, for you are the king of kindergarten." Your teacher will welcome you with a warm smile and a friendly good morning. She'll be delighted by how you recite your name with pride. When you head to your royal seat, the kids at your round table will wave and say hi, like they've been waiting on you all summer. So you'll smile back, return the wave, and give them a cheerful, "Hi, everybody." The truth is, you couldn't wait to meet your kindergarten kingdom either. Your teacher will go over classroom rules, and you'll all discuss important matters such as shapes, the alphabet, and the never-ending mystery of numbers. She'll even read a book about trucks, trains, and tractors. Phew, it sounds like a lot, but you're the king of kindergarten. Piece of cake. You will show your bravery at recess when you go up to one of your classmates and ask, "Marie, do you want to play with me?" Not only will she say yes, but she'll lead the way in helping you save the kingdom by battling a fire-breathing dragon. In the cafeteria, the boy sitting next to you will be missing dessert. You'll have packed your favorite, chocolate pudding, with an extra cup, just in case. So you'll say to him, "Want a pudding, Howie?" He'll say thanks, and you won't mind at all, because what could be cooler than sharing with new friends? Be awesome. We are kind to each other. After a royal rest, you'll arise to sing and dance and bop to a rhythmic beat. The day will be one you'll never forget. At the end of it, your teacher will wish you all a magnificent evening and bid you farewell until dawn. On your way back home, you'll think of all the things you can't wait to tell your parents. I made a bunch of new friends. My teacher is nice, and recess is the best thing ever. And tomorrow it will begin again, another day as the charming, the wonderful, and the kind King of Kindergarten. So thanks for listening to my story, and I can't wait to meet all of you.
Thank you, Mrs. Meyer. Great story. At Eden Prairie Schools and in Eden Lake, we want to make sure that we meet the needs of each child. And so our mission is our grounding foundation that we can inspire each child so that they really can reach personal fulfillment in this ever-changing world. And wow, haven't we had those experiences take place in the past half of the year? Ever-changing world, and we want to make sure we do everything we can to meet their individual interests, talents, needs of support, so that way they can leave Eden Lake and our school system and go out into the world and be contributing members, no matter what they choose to do. So why do our parents and guardians love Eden Prairie Schools? Well, we have an outstanding parent and guardian approval rating. And what we're really excited about is because we have such highly supportive parents and guardians, they have been able to provide us valuable feedback and input about what we're doing well and what we continue to strive to get better at. And so last spring, we conducted a survey that was statistically valid, and these are the ratings that came back, and we are extremely proud of what we heard from our parents and guardians, but yet we know that we can continue to do more. I'm also proud to say that Eden Prairie has received the niche ratings, and we are the only school district that has received an A rating in absolutely every category, and that is something that we must be proud of, but know that it didn't come lightly. We take this information and we want to see what we are doing well and what we can continue to keep doing well, but also continue to make progress. So once again, we're very happy with the results that we have received from our parents and guardians as they provide feedback to their child's experience in our system. One of the reasons that this is working to meet the needs of each child is we really want to make sure we personalize learning for our children. And so that means we need to get to know them individually by building positive, strong relationships so we can see their interests and strengths and talents and use that to attach it to their academic outcomes so that way we can get them excited and engaged in their learning. And the way that we can do that is by making sure we make it individualized and personalized for each of our children. We have lots of learning opportunities. In addition to the academics, we also make sure that we don't forget the whole child. So we also put a lot of time and effort into arts and music and athletics. At Eden Lake, because right now we are a kindergarten through 6th grade school, we offer band and orchestra to our 5th and 6th graders, and then also music or choir is offered before school for 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. At Eden Lake and throughout our school district, we have made a commitment to give individual attention to our students, and one way to do that is to be having really low class sizes. A number of years ago, we passed a referendum in Eden Prairie, and one of the promises is that we were going to really reduce the class sizes in kindergarten and 1st grade because we know the importance of having a smaller adult to a student ratio. What I've been really excited about is over the years, even as our numbers increase with enrollment, the commitment to keeping our class sizes low in kindergarten and 1st grade, and now even reaching up into 2nd, means that we don't automatically increase the number of students into our classes. Rather, we would add more staffing to add another class. So once again, we can follow through on that commitment to make sure that we are keeping our class sizes low for that individualized attention that all of our students need. Now, last spring, when we moved into an unexpected time in our educational, or even personal lives with the pandemic and had to move in March to distance learning, we learned a lot about our instructional models and practices, the things that we were doing well into our virtual learning, and then also based on feedback from our families, ways that we could enhance the experience because we really didn't know what our fall was going to bring with the pandemic and making sure we were following health and safety protocols. But just look at the information we received from our families in the spring about their overall experience with our distance learning. That was a continued feedback loop multiple times from teachers, students, and families because we wanted to make just-in-time decisions in our instruction and interactions with our families during a time that was really uncertain. But wow, we're so proud of that feedback. And using that information, then we also did a lot of prep and planning over the summer so we were ready for our fall of 2020 into 2021 when we really weren't sure what our model was going to be. So you can see we had 3 different options available, hybrid, full-time distance, or in-person, and then we've also brought on our 5-day-a-week full-time EP online, which is that virtual learning experience for our families to choose from as well. So we can do all the academic planning and programming planning, but we also wanted to make sure that we are staying true to making sure we are keeping everybody healthy and safe, not only physically safe, but emotionally safe too, because we know that learning can't happen if you have so many other things going on that you're worried about. So over the summer, we really worked hard pulling together multiple stakeholders and expertise from Minnesota Department of Health and the CDC guidelines. And as a district, we looked at all of that information and talked about what are the things that we need to do to ensure our health and safety protocols in our schools. So you can see that we have multiple points listed on this document that highlight what we're doing to keep people safe, honoring social distancing requirements, sanitizing, hand sanitizer, wearing masks at all times, taking temperature checks before kids get off the bus or out of the carpool line, just to make sure that we continue to maintain our health and safety expectations and guidelines. So we can talk a lot about the things that we've been able to do here at Eden Lake and throughout our district to keep our students and staff members healthy and safe during this time of COVID with our procedures. But I think it's really important for people to be able to actually see what it looks like. So please take a few minutes to enjoy this video about what Eden Lake looks like inside with some of the things that we've added in as our safety features and protocols within our school. So another way, coming back to how we can really individualize our attention, is really focused now on Eden Lake. And we have an Eden Lake vision for learning. All schools really take a look every year. What was working well? What are things that we can continue to do that we can meet the needs of each one of our students? And our vision for learning is part of our, is a motto that we have, that we are all part of creating the climate and culture in our school community, so that no matter who comes into our school, no matter what age they are, no matter if it's a parent or guardian, that everybody who works here, we all have our part in creating the climate and culture of our Eden Lake school community. We also, in addition to all of the staff members that you see there listed, we also are using 4 points that we really want to help ground us in everything we do that connect to strategies that we have for our learning. We want to make sure that we are being equitable and we are intentional, we are streamlined, and we are focused. And we use those four very important words to help ground us so that everything is aligned and tied together, and so that our whole experience for our teaching and our instruction and our child's experience is tied together, and they can see how everything is valued and really can work together to meet their needs of individualized attention. And then we also work on these two main strategies. Once again, helps guide everything we do. We want to make sure that we are building positive relationships with each one of our students. Once again, that's how we can personalize their learning, because we get to know who they are, their interests, their passions, and use that to engage them in their learning outcomes. And then also we want to make sure that we provide authentic real-life learning experiences opportunities, so that way they, once again, can become contributing members in this ever-changing world. We also want to set up our foundations and basically our expectations for how are we going to work together as an Eden Lake community. You can see when we have so many different family systems sending their children to Eden Lake each day, in addition to our staff members. So we could have close to 1,000 people here at Eden Lake. So we need to make sure that we all have a common understanding that as we bring in our own background experiences and our family dynamics, that we can agree on some very simple tenets that will help ground us in our work. And we want to make sure that we are safe, responsible, and kind. You can also see that we want to make sure that we have student input and our students see themselves around the building. They have had input in the color scheme that we have. They have photos of themselves around the building. We try to have as much voice and choice in our students as possible, because this is their community. And we want to make sure that we're not only doing adult level decision making, we can't forget that the reason we're here is for your child or your children. And so we always want to make sure that we provide lots of opportunities to get their input. We also like to think about ways that we can contribute and give back. So we do service learning projects at all grade levels and as a school system to raise money or donations for Prop, our local food shelf that serves many people in our community. We also are part of Unified Schools, Special Olympics, and raising money through our Polar Plunge, so we can make sure that we find ways and continue to work on ways to bring people together and not look at our differences, but how we can all support each other in our academics, our social emotional needs, and athletics. We also spend time, in addition to getting to know each child and their interests and talents, we also want to make sure we continue to build up their skills. You might hear a lot about our 4 C's. And these 4 C's are also important skills that people need to have. You need to know how to collaborate, be able to communicate, be creative, and be a critical thinker. And when your child is going to be leaving in so many years from now as a senior in high school, we don't necessarily know what the world's going to be like in this ever-changing world. But we know that if we can help build up the skills that people will need, it can transcend whatever they're going to be doing or working in. So that is why we really focus on those 4 C's. So in addition to our social emotional components and setting our expectations, we also know that academics is important. We need to make sure our students are learning and growing in their academic achievement as well. So both in math and reading, Eden Lake has consistently outperformed or exceeded the proficiency rates compared to the state average in both math and reading, which is very exciting. And we continue every year to look back and use student evidence that helps guide our instructional practices to make sure that we are meeting their needs, and if not, how we can make adjustments along the way, not wait until it's too late, so that way we can make sure that they are learning and meeting those end-of-year grade level benchmarks and outcomes. We have a very supportive PTO here at Eden Lake, filled with parents and guardians who are very supportive. They want to make sure that they find ways to give back to our community because they know that their children are part of this great community. And so our PTO members help organize our Fall Carnival, which is our largest fundraiser of the year. And using the money that we receive, goes right back into teacher grants or staff grants that provides more items or learning experiences for the children that year. So that way we can expand their wonderful experiences here at Eden Lake as much as possible. We also do some things outside of school, like Eden Prairie Barnes and Noble event, where we have a full Saturday where we read stories and purchase items, and then some of that money comes back to our school to purchase even more books. We like to provide some parent-teacher PTO sponsored coffee with the principals or lunch and learn, because it's also very important for families to know what are we doing as the educators in the school with your children, and you have the right to know what's going on, and so we like to provide those opportunities. This year we are going to be having to be a bit more creative because we don't have the ability to have our families into our school due to COVID and our health and safety protocols, so we are doing our first PTO meeting via Zoom, where all families are included, and so they can join in and hear information from myself and also Mrs. Unowski, our associate principal, and also be able for us to respond to questions that people might have. Now, this is really exciting too. So as I said earlier, we are a kindergarten through sixth grade school. All of our elementaries are. But we are going to be doing some shifting in our programming models. So when your child comes in as a kindergartner next fall in 2021, we're also going to be bringing in our youngest students in early childhood. So now we're going to have more of a consistency between our early childhood into our elementaries so they can connect with kindergarten. So then we will become early childhood through fifth grade schools. This means our sixth graders will be moving on to the middle school for 6, 7, and 8. And we're very excited about this transition, and I know that our sixth graders are excited to get to move into the new middle school. And so at the end of this year, we will actually be moving our current sixth graders and our current fifth graders, who will then be moving into sixth grade, so we have the space available to bring in our early childhood students next fall. So there is a registration process that you need to follow, and so please look at the information there on what you need to do, and also for early childhood screening. And there is more information about this process on page 5 of the kindergarten booklet. We also have the opportunity at Eden Lake and around our district to offer school-age program care before and after school. This is through our Eagle Zone program, which is tied to our district. It's created by our district, which is fantastic because it really provides that alignment for our students within the building, what they experience before and after school, and then also during the school day. So there's a lot of good connections that come from that. And you can see that they offer a variety of activities for students, and the hours are listed for families to take part. So hopefully I was able to give you a little bit of background about Eden Lake and Eden Prairie Schools, and we also have some other upcoming kindergarten events for our new families coming in the fall. You'll see the dates listed here, and at this point we're not exactly sure what they're going to look like because of our health and safety expectations. Like, this is even a new way to present information to our families through this video, but ever-changing world, right? We have to be creative and responsive and just go with it. So here are the dates that you'll want to mark down, and more information will be shared out with you as the time gets closer about what those particular events will look like for you. I think it's also important for you to get to hear some information from our current and former Eden Lake students and parents. So please enjoy this video about Eden Lake.
I really like the teachers. They are very inspiring to me because they encourage me to do my best.
I want to be a teacher when I grow up because I really like everything that they do here, and I want to be just like them.
Here at Eden Lake, I want my classroom to be a safe, exciting place to learn.
We're creating an environment where they can feel like they will be trusted, that their opinion counts, that what they say matters, and that they should be heard.
The thing I like most about the teachers is that I can communicate with them and be able to talk to them.
Our district bought into PBIS, or Positive Behavior Intervention and Supports. One of the biggest things that came from this is our 3 pro-social behaviors, which is be safe, be kind, and be responsible. And these phrases are used each and every day, and it helps the students understand that if they can always be thinking about what does it take to be safe and responsible and kind, and if everybody's working towards that and we're all using the same common language, everybody will be successful. Our administration over the last several years has challenged the staff to look for ways to have flexible learning spaces in our building.
Everybody learns in a different way. Some students might want to sit in a chair or on the floor. Sometimes they need movement. Sometimes they need to be standing up, and it just works for both teachers and students, just having different places where they can be comfortable and be able to learn at their own pace.
I have a passion for history. My teacher, Miss Taylor, she's really helping me push forward that because she loves reading. So I get to find history books in the room and get to read those.
Eden Lake is a place where your child from day one is going to be accepted, embraced, and encouraged to be themselves.
They like school, they like the principal, they like the teachers, they like the staff, they like the students. It's the best school ever.
I have a lot of friends here because every year in my class I make friends with everybody, and the next year I have new people in my class, so I make friends with them.
Eden Prairie is a place where expectations are very high, success rates are proven, and we believe that no matter which school or which neighborhood you live in, you will receive an excellent education.
If you happen to have any additional questions based on the information that I shared with you tonight, or you have some time to think about things and you're like, oh, I'd like to know more about this, they didn't talk about this, please feel free to reach out to our school through email or phone call. The information is listed here, and someone in our office will get back to you or pass it along to me or Mrs. Unowski, once again our associate principal, and we can figure out how we can present that information to you. It could be through a phone call, an email, or maybe it means the information is enough questions came up about the same topic that we could put together a little video and send it out to families again. So we want to make sure that we're responsive and answering all the information that you would like to know before your child starts kindergarten. So thank you so much for your time tonight. I'm very excited to welcome you and your child to kindergarten next fall. Thank you so much. Be safe, be responsible, and be kind.